G'day everyone. Today we're going to go through how to do a transmission service on the CVT transmission of this Mitsubishi Outlander. It's a 2020 ZL Outlander. It's the four-wheel drive with the 2.4 litre engine and the CVT transmission. It's a W1CJC transmission from Jatco, and it's the same one we'll find in the Eclipse Cross and the Lancer of this era. We're going to need at least 5 litres of CVT J4 fluid, a little bit more if you're doing a total dry fill, somewhere around 7 litres. But for this, changing the filter and the screen, 5 litres completed the job. As always, this is just how I did the job. Always check the service manual for the torque settings and the capacities for your specific vehicle before doing the job. And also make sure you've got everything you need to do the job before draining the oil. Once the oil and the pan are off, the car will not be able to be moved. So make sure you've got everything you need before starting the job. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is get this guard off from under the vehicle. It's a fiberglass guard. It's held on with 4 bolts and 4 of these clips. Just pull the center out of the clip and it falls out. The 4 bolts are a 10mm socket. And as you can see here on the inside of mine, that transmission has actually been leaking some oil. I think it's leaking from the drain plug, and we'll have a closer look, but it's a good job I'm doing a service here because it has been leaking, not for long, but long enough. Okay, so we need to remove the oil from the transmission first, of course. It's a 19mm socket, and the head on that plug is very shallow. Just be careful not to round it off. Shouldn't be too tight, and we're going to drain everything we can out of that pan. And while it's draining it, I'm going to hit it with some degreaser and clean up all around, especially because it's been leaking, before we pull the pan off to keep any contamination out of the transmission itself. While that's draining as well, we're also going to change out this washer on the drain plug. The old one had a big step in it and a bit of a chunk out of it. The new one for me is just a flat copper washer from my kit, and that will do just fine. It fits perfectly well. The oil itself, we drained 4 litres almost out of the oil pan. It was pretty bad. You can see here it's kind of a black color. It should be sort of a green golden color. This has done a few Ks, and obviously it is ready to be changed. We'll put the plug back in now because we can with that new washer. It is 35 newton meters on that before we take the pan off. Now, super important, before we take the pan off, before you even loosen any bolts, make sure the gasket you've bought does fit. This one has 7 bolts on either side of the gasket. Some of them have 6 bolts on one side. Just make sure that gasket is correct before we crack any bolts. You can always refill it with oil and drive the car, but once you take the pan off, that gasket will not go again. So definitely make sure the gasket you've got is correct. I'm going to zip all the bolts out here with a little rattle gun. You can do them by hand. No real specific order required, but I did leave 2 at this end in and just 1 at the front of the car in as well. And we're going to slowly crack it and try not to get oil on my driveway, but I did a little bit. The pan still holds a lot more oil than the drain plug will have you believe. Now I can undo the bolt at the back, and we can very carefully tip the rest of the pan into my oil collection bucket, and we'll drag the whole thing out from the car so we can clean it all up. All up in the end, I had about 5 litres, including what I spilled on my driveway, and that was about right. There's an extra litre sort of sitting in the pan and inside the screen as well, and I did collect 5 litres of oil from this vehicle, and that's what we put back in. All right, with that pan out of the way, we can remove the screen. It's the reason we took the pan off in the first place. This screen catches any big debris before it goes into the transmission. This one's held on with 3 bolts. One of them is a little bit longer than the other 2. Can't really go too wrong. Just make sure they go back in the same place. That screen will contain quite a bit of oil that will run down your arm and all over your driveway. So make sure you have something ready to catch a bit more oil. And we change the O-ring on the screen. In my case, my kit came with a new screen and a new O-ring, but the pickup on the screen was far too long and it actually fouled on the pan when I went to put it back together. Just look out for that. This kit has a different screen. I've obviously got the wrong kit here, but we can reuse the old screen as long as we clean it all out properly and change that O-ring. So that's what I ended up having to do. But here we are fitting the new screen, not knowing that it's actually incorrect. And we're going to put the 3 bolts back in, and I'm going to torque them up. We're torquing them to 9 newton meters or 80 inch-pounds. That's inch-pounds, not foot-pounds, of course. 9 newton meters, not very tight. If you don't have a small torque wrench, you can use a small 1/4-inch ratchet. Just nip them up tight, but not too tight. 9 newton meters is not a lot. Now we can turn our attention to the oil pan. It has 5 magnets in it. Just have a look at these magnets and make sure there's no big chunks of metal or anything like that. A small amount of paste, like you can see here, is pretty normal after multi-thousand Ks that this car's done. We'll remove the magnets, clean them, clean the whole pan, and make sure that gasket fits the pan, of course. And you can see here the difference between the two screens. So I did have to reuse my old screen with the new O-ring. I cleaned it out back to front with a lot of degreaser and an airline and refitted it. Once the pan is all clean and ready to go with that new gasket, we're going to fit it, all the bolts by hand, and then we're going to crisscross pattern and we're going to tighten them up to 8 Newton meters or 70 inch-pounds. You may have to do a couple of laps. I had to do about 3 laps before they all sort of balanced out at that 8 to 10 sort of Newton meters range. As you crush that gasket, this particular one was a cork gasket. So just make sure you crisscross, get them all tight, and then do a couple of laps. Make sure that they all pull up tight without crushing that gasket too much. Now these transmissions have a small filter at the front as well, just before the lines go into the cooler or return from the cooler, usually called a cooler filter. It's a small filter here and it just sits on an O-ring. We have 4 bolts holding the cap on, that also has an O-ring as well. So change that filter, change that O-ring, and we can put that cap back on. Now there's quite a small torque on that, 4.5 to about 5 Newton meters. It's very small amount of threads and very soft aluminium. Just nip them up. Once that's all together, we can take the dipstick out and we can fill it through the dipstick tube. We can fill that 5 liters of CVT FJ4 oil or fluid. I'm going to fill it up, I put about 4 liters in before I checked it, and then up putting the extra liter in as well. Basically, we get it full and then we operate the transmissions through all the gears, drive, reverse, go backwards, forwards, put it back into park or neutral, and then we can check that oil level with the vehicle running. In this case, we have a cold and a hot level. We always want to check it hot, but we'll check it now cold just to make sure we've got enough to drive it around and get it hot. The cold level is just to tell you you've got enough before we drive around, get it to temperature and check the hot level. See, now the car is up to operating temperature and we've put the guard back underneath. Do the same thing. We'll go through the gears after we've parked. Just make sure we've gone forward, backwards, reverse. Everything's been filled with fluid. Then we'll check that dipstick again with the engine running in park or neutral and make sure that the level is between the hot lines. You can see I'm just on the bottom of the hot line there. I'm going to put that extra liter in, giving me the 5 liters. We want to be in the range of hot. Other than that, keep driving it, check it periodically, make sure there's no leaks or anything, and make sure that level stays correct. Thank you very much for watching.